house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. Been practicing this a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
That was good. I liked it.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Big Easy Bets podcast. I'm your host, Logan, and with me in the studio, Nick Von Brick.
Yo.
What's on the ones and twos? Justin the Russian Concussion Mascaro.
What's going on?
This is episode 195. We're on the college football week 3, NFL week 2. But we got a lot to break down. A lot has happened since we recorded a week ago. First things first, hit that subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening. Hit the like button as well. It helps us out. We are, I believe, 8 subscribers away from 700. So you can help us get there. We'd appreciate it. Only takes a second, but it's a big help for the podcast. So hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. The Big Easy Bets podcast is brought to you by BetStamp. This is the season to take advantage of the promo offers. You go to signupexpert.com/BigEasyBets, or easier than that, you can click the link in the description of this video or episode, wherever you're watching or listening. Go to the link in the description. I swear, it sounds like a salesman. I've texted some people about it. I wish I could do it. I wish I could take advantage of the offers. FanDuel's doing bet $5, get $200. DraftKings is doing bet $5, get $250. That's $450 of a bankroll to be able to bet with. All you got to do is give them $10. They're banking on you to stay around and lose more than that and then some. But if you're the one that's smart enough to not get beat by them, I really do wish I could do it. I know it sounds like a salesman, and it is. You're helping out our podcast. I want you to do it because it benefits us. But, I mean, would you do it if you could?
Yeah, no, they have some new ones up there, too. Like Fanatics started a sports book, I guess.
Okay, yeah, you'd mentioned that. Yeah.
So the ones that were on when we first started with BetStamp, they've added some.
Yeah, it really is worth it. Unless you develop an addiction and you can't get out of it and you lose all your money. Then it's not worth it. But if you're smart about it. Episode 195. Again, like I said, college football week 3, NFL week 2. A lot to dive into. Let's start it off with the New Orleans Saints. The Saints. I said I'll start with this. Derek Carr has my respect right now. I said going into the season I was going to be a fan again, and I am, and I will be. I'll be and I was always a fan, but you know what I mean. I was rooting for the best. And Derek Carr came out guns blazing right off the bat, 3rd and long. Didn't check it down for a gain of 2. Stood in the pocket, was willing to take a shot, and threw a bomb to Rashid Shaheed. And, I mean, that basically – we were off and running from there. It was as good a football as you could see from every phase.
Yeah.
I think Clint Kubiak can take a bow because Alvin Kamara looked rejuvenated. He had a lot more room to run. Mm-hmm. The offensive line looked great. Trevor Penning looked fantastic.
Fucking all-star.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what they fed Trevor Penning, but they need to keep giving it to him. Eric McCoy was one of the highest-graded linemen overall on Pro Football Focus. Everybody take a bow at every single level. We blocked a punt. I was like, we're just a punt return touchdown away from checking every box. So Derek Carr, I tip my cap to you. He looked fantastic. He looked exactly what we wanted him to look like last year. And I'm completely making a turnaround on, not that I didn't know that scheming and coaching mattered. Obviously, I knew that. But I guess the scale of how much what I deemed most important, that is drastically being tipped back in favor of coordinators. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just, we've seen it at the collegiate level. We've seen it in the NFL now. It absolutely matters. And, again, I knew it mattered. But and I'm going to pump the brakes, too, because it's the Panthers. It's the Panthers. So, with that being said, if Derek Carr goes out and does to the Cowboys what he just did to the Panthers, I'm all in. I'm all in. We're winning the Super Bowl. So, but it was the Panthers. So, I feel like we got to pump the brakes a little bit, but it did look fantastic. What were your overall thoughts? I mean, I know I touched on a lot of it.
Yeah, the most positive thing is that the difference from last year is we were able to establish a run. So it's like,
yes,
last year you know, a lot of blame got put on Carr, but the bottom line is we couldn't run the ball or pass protect, for that matter. For
Jamal Williams found the end zone.
Yeah.
When Jamal Williams is finding the end zone, that's when you know we're firing on all
I think he
cylinders.
had his shoes untied.
Don't need him tied against that defense. Yeah, that was it was nice. We kept starting out every year we had a good team, we kept losing in the beginning. Now we win, and we win week 1 every single year, and then suck after that. But
it is interesting because I was telling somebody about like how preseason really just doesn't matter, because last year in the preseason the offense didn't look bad.
No, Marcus Callaway looked like he was going to take over the league,
and then this year we looked like shit, and then the offense comes out and puts up a lot of points.
No, I've been very critical of Derek Carr for obvious reasons, and I don't think I was wrong to be critical. But I'm not biased. I will tell you when he played great. He played great. I want to see him go out and play great against the team that just dismantled the Cleveland Browns, though. So the Cowboys look good. That's who I want to see him play great against. And I like that we're getting a taste of, like, we're going to get an idea of who we really are very fast. And I understand you can evolve as a team as the season goes on. But you played the bottom of the barrel and you trounced them. Now you're going to go play a team in that upper echelon, and we're going to get a lot of questions answered. So, but it was a good start. It was a fun start. What else? Kendrick Lamar.
Yep.
Is headlining the Super Bowl halftime show in New Orleans. What are your thoughts?
I think it's cool.
Come on.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean?
I mean, it's better than most of the last choices the past few years.
Born in New Orleans, raised in New Orleans.
I don't know. He did come out saying he wanted to do it, huh?
Yes. I will forever remain faithful, New Orleans.
Yeah, I wonder why he couldn't get that done.
There's a lot of conspiracy in the background. People were saying Jay-Z made the call, but then they came out and said Jay-Z didn't make the call. He just gave the city a short list of who to pick from. But it's like, did you not put Wayne on the short list? Jay-Z and Wayne and Birdman and all of them have been beefing for quite some time. There's a lot of background politics going on that I don't know about. There's even a deep-rooted conspiracy theory that Drake and Kendrick, with their beef, that Drake's basically playing chess with his upcoming contract that's expiring with his label, and that's why he's releasing all these songs like kind of off to the side, and then releasing them on Twitter, then throwing them in the Apple whatever music. I don't know. There's a lot going on, but we just saw Kendrick in the Super Bowl halftime show. We just saw him perform whenever there was in LA, and they brought out all the LA artists. I will say this. If you had to rank live performers, who's probably better? Kendrick Lamar is probably a better live performer than Wayne. But Lil Wayne was the best rapper alive for a minute there. Like a decade plus run, maybe 2 decades. Kendrick Lamar, what is he going to play? Not Like Us on repeat? He's going to play it 10 times?
Humble.
Yeah, God, it's like he's not a hit maker, dude. He's got his, and I'm not trying to like trash Kendrick Lamar. I've never really been the biggest Kendrick Lamar fan. I've always kind of sided with others. He's obviously super talented. You go listen to some of the songs, and every time I go listen, after a while, I'm like, okay, that one's pretty damn good. Super talented, different style of music though. For like, he's just not a hit maker. Whereas, and then in New Orleans with Wayne and all the people you could have brought out, and they're like, oh, he can play Mona Lisa though with Kendrick. It's like, yeah, who gives a shit? Wayne could have brought Kendrick out and played Mona Lisa and then played all the other hits. So I don't know. Birdman's pissed though. Nicki Minaj was pissed. The whole Young Money crew's about to go to battle. So Juvenile was pissed. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens there, but I'm not really whatever. Tyreek Hill got detained and not arrested, I guess, but detained on the way to the stadium. My thoughts are this: I'm not super passionate about it. 2 things can be true at the same time. A lot of people think that 2 things can't be true. Tyreek Hill could have listened and probably not sped, and then the cop could have not got fed up and took it to, when he's sitting on the ground, you don't need to jump on him and throw him and this and that. The cop could have handled himself better. Tyreek Hill could have listened better. He probably was speeding. It looked like he was speeding. My question would be, what happened with Henry Ruggs. So, I mean, the only difference between the two is he didn't smoke somebody and fucking set their car on fire. I don't know. I think it's going to be probably blown out of proportion. Tyreek Hill did say he was rolling up the window because he didn't want fans to drive by and see him and take pictures and this and that. But it's like your windows are extremely tinted. And
Yeah, you can't do that.
yeah, you can. I mean, and you can tell right when they go up to him, the first thing he said is, don't knock on my window like that.
Yeah.
It's like me, I'm not the fastest I'm not the best receiver in the NFL. But if I was speeding and I got pulled over, you're supposed to be kind of like a little apologetic. Like you just did something wrong and they're coming up to you. So when you're like, I don't have the money he's got. So I don't have fuck you money to tell the police. But I don't know. I don't think two things can be true. He should have not been speeding at 11, 10 in the morning. And then could have listened better, and then the cops could have not escalated the situation after he was already subdued, basically. So I don't know. I don't want to go into a whole dissertation on it, but it is what it is. What else? NIU.
Yeah.
NIU. I made a video last year, and I said that Marcus Freeman should be fired because he allowed back-to-back plays. Or I didn't make a video. We talked about it on the podcast, and I clipped it. I said Marcus Freeman should be fired because on back-to-back plays, he allowed only 10 guys to be on the field against Ohio State, subsequently losing them the game. And people thought I was kidding. That's a fireable offense. To have that happen once, okay, whoops. To have that happen twice is a fireable offense, in my opinion. And then you lose to Marshall. And then you come into this season. You march in to Texas A&M, College Station, you get the win, you don't throw a touchdown, you get the win, and then you have a bye game with NIU as 4 touchdown favorites and you lose outright. More than 4 touchdowns because I was on them plus 29.5. I didn't think they were going to fucking win. Anybody who plays college football 25 will tell you that Ontario Brown, the running back for the Huskies, is good. They give him to you in the ultimate team. It's a good player. So they got a running game. Knew it going in. I can't believe they lost. I really can't.
It's wild.
I'm like kind of disappointed because it's like I want the better teams to everybody, and they're not out of contention, but it's a fucking uphill battle now. But I want all the better teams to be, when they play those big games, in the mix. You know what I mean? So you can't lose to fucking NIU. The post-game press conference or the post-game interview on the field was fantastic, though. The guy crying and all of that. Like, he seems like a good coach. He was chewing those motherfuckers out whenever, because they were making stupid mistakes and pushing on the sideline, and he was lighting that one dude up because you could tell, like, you kind of got the feel he started knowing, like, we got a shot. We've got a shot to win the game. And that was early on, but just the way he was, like, just no nonsense. And I don't know, him crying after, like, that's what it's all about. Notre Dame paid him a bag, paid him over $1 million to come in and beat him on their home field. What do you do with Marcus Freeman?
Yeah, he's not going to be there much longer. They lost to Marshall 2 years ago in his first season. And then last year, obviously, they have a better year. But you mentioned the mistake against Ohio State. It's like their hardest game was supposed to be A&M.
Yes.
On the road, and they get that win, and then right after that.
I didn't take it, but I said Notre Dame to make the college football playoff, I think it was like even money almost. I was like, who are they going to lose to?
They don't have that tough of a schedule. I mean, now they have to play USC, which we think they'd look better, and they covered again last week as big favorites. So
hold on 2 seconds. Justin, hit turbo on that remote. There you go. All right.
So, yeah, I just think that's probably another game that they're going to lose, USC. I mean, they have to play Louisville. I mean, they can lose anybody at this point, it seems.
Yeah, they haven't thrown they're playing, it's 2024. They're playing 1924 football. They're playing good defense and run the ball. Riley Leonard hasn't thrown a touchdown.
Yeah, it's crazy. Denbrock leaves LSU to go to Notre Dame.
Goddamn, Jaden Daniels
Number
was
one
good.
offense in the nation. Put up some of the best numbers ever, and then
goddamn, Jaden Daniels was good. I don't really know. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. It's inexcusable. that it's a trending topic. It's a trending theme. This is, you want to talk about big game Brian Kelly, let's talk about small game Marcus Freeman, because he can't win games when he's 4 touchdown favorites. They came out flat right off the bat, and I felt good about the bet right away. It was like, okay, because NIU's got guys in the trenches too. They were moving their D line.
No, they just beat them. It wasn't like any.
No, it wasn't a fluke.
Yeah, they just beat them.
Yeah, it wasn't a fluke at all. I don't know what you do. And it's hilarious because there was a lot of Notre Dame fans taking a victory lap about LSU losing to USC to start the year and Brian Kelly and blah, blah, blah. That ended fast. So, I mean, you get what you deserve. I asked this question. I only a couple more things to touch on, then we'll get to the recap and get to the bets. But I asked this question on the, whenever it was, Futures episode for the NFL maybe. Is the Deshaun Watson contract the worst contract in the history?
Dude, it doesn't look good. And they're going to stick with them.
Is it the worst contract in the history of the NFL? $250 million guaranteed, fully guaranteed.
Yeah. Him and Russell Wilson,
I know.
Probably equal.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to go Deshaun. Russell's fully guaranteed too? The fully guaranteed is crazy. I know he got a bag.
And the trades were similar too, where they give up so much to get him.
But the baggage with Deshaun Watson too, like everything going on. So not necessarily just the logistics of the contract, but also just the decision to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like Russell Wilson was fucking good. We've said he was good. I scratch my head to the day I die. I don't know what happened. Too many Subway commercials. But you didn't have to question like what he was doing off the field or if he was a good guy or all of that, which I don't know. He's one of those too good of guys, if you know what I mean. So who knows what he's doing behind the scenes.
He's selling snake oil.
Yeah. But with Deshaun Watson, you knew what you were getting.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. Old Deshaun Watson better mind his fucking P's and Q's, because the Browns are going to be looking for anything for like a breach of contract or whatever. So I don't know what it is with Deshaun. I don't know if he got the yips from all the off the field stuff. I don't know if he pulled the wool over our eyes for a couple years. There was once upon a time you would have said Deshaun Watson was the best quarterback in the NFL.
I thought he was one of the best.
I thought Russell Wilson was too. So
and he played like it for a while.
No, but you thought he was. You bet. You hitched your wagon.
It's because they had a quarterback.
I'm not questioning. I'm not saying
like Deshaun Watson, and they were like 80-1 to win the Super Bowl.
I know, but you took him MVP. You took him every which way. You took him over win total. You took him. I mean, every which way. I'm not saying it was a bad bet. It was a bad bet, but I'm not saying you were crazy for thinking Deshaun Watson was gonna be good. But yeah, I don't know if he's just sore and can't get a massage these days. Like, there's no way he's getting massages. There's no way. So I don't know if he's not able to rehab his body.
Use those massage chairs.
Yeah, or like the gun, he's got to do it himself. Like, the massage, like the ones in the mall.
Yeah,
he's got to go undercover in the mall. He can only get his feet massaged. I don't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson, but he sucks. So the sooner everybody accepts that, the better off, especially in the city of Cleveland, the better you'll be, because that guy stinks. It's mine. I've always said, is it the grass? Because he immediately looked so much slower.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He tries to do too much. It's like he's not able to use his athleticism like he was once before.
And he was never Lamar Jackson, but he was not slow. He wasn't, he was dynamic. Cut the grass shorter. Is it the grass? I swear, it's like with Iowa State. It's all these teams that I'm like, I think like Breece Hall looks like the best running back in the goddamn country, or in the NFL. But I know he was great at Iowa State, but I didn't think he was that fast.
No,
they cut the grass. They need to cut the grass. That's what it is. So, speaking of grass, the field in Brazil was fucking horrific.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Darius Slay goes on a podcast and he's like, what? He literally asked that. He's like, what are we doing? Why are y'all sending us to Brazil, who's being like ruled by a dictator right now? You're going to send us down here and say, hey, don't leave the hotel because there's fires everywhere, natural and man-made because the city's burning to the ground. The crime is running rampant, but we're going to play football, and the field's going to be absolute trash. Everybody's going to get hurt. I don't know what – I'm so tired of the international games. I don't know if I'm in the minority there. What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't like them.
The Jaguars, I understand the owner is Khan or whatever. He's gung-ho about going to England and playing, or London, wherever the fuck. Same thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
who cares about where
London's in England?
Yeah. They play like multiple games this year over there. So there's no way the players like that.
The fields aren't as bad over there though, but I remember like the field being an issue. Didn't they play a game in Mexico City one year?
Yes.
Yeah, and I feel like the field was an issue. So I don't know.
Might have been last year.
I don't know how they don't get the field right.
Yeah.
I mean, they play soccer over there.
Yeah, it's a little different though. You know what I mean? Like they're not like it's I don't know how to necessarily describe it. Like they are cutting, but they're like more straight line running more than anything and sliding and shit. Like it's not like receivers breaking out of routes and all of that. So it's a little different. But yeah, I mean, you would think that they know how to manufacture the grass, but they said like they had to. The style of field is different. Like so but the amount of money that they're bringing in, can you go in and fucking make it to where like they're not getting hurt? They were slipping so much, like every play somebody was slipping. Like Saquon especially. I was like, watch Saquon tear his ACL.
Yeah,
on some shit. I'm out on the international games. I'm ready for that to be done, and it's not. It's going to just ramp up because Roger Goodell's a money-hungry whore and wants to keep hoeing these games out to Peacock and Tubi and all this bullshit. So I'm over it. But let's see. We got our first look at Caleb Williams. You were obviously we were talking about that game. How would you grade his performance?
Statistically, he did horrible, but I don't think I don't think he really played that bad.
He stunk.
I don't know.
Statistically, he did horrible. What did he do well?
It just didn't look like he was playing that bad.
I don't know. I mean, he tried to do like his
like he didn't
spin around in the backfield.
Did he turn it over?
No. He didn't. So I'll give him credit.
No,
there.
And I mean a lot of passes that he threw, there was tight coverage and contested.
But he had was it Keenan Allen down the left sideline? Wide.
Yeah, he did miss some.
Airmailed him.
But I didn't think he looked too bad compared to his stats.
The Pardon My Take guys were talking, and they hit it perfectly on the head. On Hard Knocks, Caleb Williams was like, I don't ever get nervous. And then he was in his post-game press conference, and he's like, I really just don't want to let the city down. I want to perform well. I don't want to play bad. It's like, they're like, he just went and proceeded to perfectly describe what being nervous is. And he's like, I don't ever get nervous. I don't have nerves. It's like, you looked like you had him, and you acted like you had him in the post-game press conference. I think Caleb Williams is going to be good. But it was not a good start. It was not a good start, but an incredible performance from every other level of the Bears.
Yeah. Did you see the clip of Teddy Bradshaw talking about painting his nails?
Oh, Terry Bradshaw?
Yeah,
no.
Terry Bradshaw.
No, what did he say?
He was like, imagine if when I played, I painted this hand fingernails black and this hand gold, and he just starts cracking up laughing.
They need to have Terry on,
and everybody,
on a mute button.
Everybody like kind of gets awkward and doesn't know what to say.
Yeah, they're like, shit. Yeah. Not the time, Terry. They need to have Terry on like a 10-second delay or something just in case. Shakir, Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir update.
Yeah, close.
You got the edge currently, but, I mean, Khalil got in the end zone.
Yeah.
So,
but that doesn't count.
Doesn't matter. I understand, but Josh Allen's going to remember that.
Yeah.
Keon Coleman didn't look good.
I didn't think he looked bad.
No, he had him. I can't remember I think he went to him in the end zone.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what happened. All I remember is he was going to him, but that's not going to last. So, he's got like a 12-yard advantage, something like that. It's close.
It's 9, I think.
It's
51 of 42.
Okay.
Neither one of them
lit
it up by any means.
Yeah, Josh Allen did on my fantasy team, but y'all want to have that conversation? Your team stinks.
My team?
Yeah.
I have a good team.
Your team stinks.
Did you win?
No.
Yeah, it ain't that good.
6, but.
Oh, okay.
What'd you score?
135 or 125.
That's not bad. It's way better than your team.
Yeah.
I told you, you're going to come. I already had this conversation with Joseph, too. I started cornering Joseph like I did a couple years back when he traded me Kamara for a fucking cup of coffee. Joseph's going to trade me for Jordan Love. So if you want him, you're going to need to. He said he's doing that thing where he's like, I'm going to ride with my guys. I trust them, and I'm not doing this and that. And then he was like, if I'm 0-4, I mean, maybe we'll come back. So it's like the seed's been planted. Joseph's going to try to trade me for Jordan Love. So if you want him, you better start negotiating quick.
I'm not trading. I'm going to follow my sword.
Yeah, anything. Joseph said the same thing too. And that's what I put in there in the group chat. I was like, y'all's egos are not going to allow you to take Jordan Love from me. And that's going to be your downfall. Your overall team's not that bad. It's not that good. But we could pretend it's a quarterback away.
No, I need the Browns to go to another quarterback.
No, you need fucking...
Because Amari Cooper got nine targets, but...
You need the Chargers to birth 3 more wide receivers who can do something.
They're going to figure it out. He should have threw another touchdown.
Herbert's not bad. It's not that Herbert's bad. It's that he's throwing the janitors.
Yeah.
It's not that Herbert's bad. So, but the problem is when I took the second quarterback, that's when... I think somebody did it before me, too. And that's when you were like, you put your line in the sand where you're like, y'all are stupid for taking 2 quarterbacks. And I said right there, I was like, y'all are going to trade me for Jordan Love. So you're not going to allow yourself to do it. But if there's growth in there, you're going to do it. And it's going to.
I don't have anything to trade.
Oh, we could talk.
No, I'm not trading anything worth a damn.
Dude, the quarterbacks are so important. The quarterbacks are so
they are,
important.
But
no, my team was good last year, and I didn't have a quarterback.
I had Mahomes, who put up just average numbers.
Yeah, because he's a winner. He's not a fantasy guy, though. Josh Allen, fantasy guy.
Yeah, but
Jordan Love, fantasy guy.
The point I'm making is my team was still good last year.
Yeah, I understand, but you had an average run-of-the-mill fantasy quarterback.
Yeah.
I give you Jordan
All
Love.
I need is Herbert to just
Jordan
be
Love's
average.
going to finish top 5, and he's going to miss 3 games.
Nah, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm telling you. Justin, we'll talk, because I know your team's struggling. You took C.J. Stroud.
I got Lamar.
Oh, Lamar, that's right. Yeah.
Well, quarterback's not an issue for you.
For Justin?
No.
Yeah, until he gets hurt.
Yeah. But a guy that can run like that at quarterback?
I watched Rashee Rice not score a touchdown, and I said I have the best team in the league. Dude, who's got a better team right now?
I haven't even looked at him closely.
Yeah, you have. You can say it. I told y'all, I said I haven't been putting in the time into the fantasy team.
So you have Rice.
Then the number 1 overall receiver, week 1.
Who?
Jaden Reed.
Yeah, whose quarterback's injured now.
Yeah, for a couple weeks. Malik Willis is coming in, though.
Yeah.
They're just going to give it to Reed on end rounds. That's okay, though.
Who's your third guy? Your flex.
Well, Reed was in the flex. DJ Moore.
Okay, that's not bad.
But then I got Tyler Lockett on the bench. So if Reed really is struggling, Tyler Lockett got 11 points.
Yeah.
Tyler Lockett's still a contributor. But then you've got Breece Hall, who they give the ball to every single play. Kyron Williams, who got a touchdown. And he outsnapped everybody by a landslide. They were saying it might be a little committee. You even said, you're like, Corum. Corum didn't see the fucking field. That guy Rivers got in over Corum.
Yeah, a lot of the rookie running backs aren't doing anything.
Yeah, but then Josh Allen is just a stud. So, but he's breaking his hand, diving into the end zone. So, but it's McBride too, fantastic tight end. My team's the best. Yeah, my team is the best. It's not even up for debate. I told you I was putting more time into my fantasy team this year, less time into the beginning weeks of the podcast. It's showing in my record, but I have a fucking top tier fantasy team. So. All right. Last thing, and then we will get to the recap. Tom Brady made his debut announcing in the booth. And it took me about 20 minutes to realize it was Tom Brady. So if that doesn't sum up Tom Brady's performance in the booth, he's getting eviscerated online for just not being very good at announcing games. I was watching, it was the Browns and Cowboys, and I was watching. I didn't have action on it, so I was late to that game, but I turned it on, and it was literally like 20 minutes, and then I was like, is that Tom Brady? And he wasn't that good. I didn't think he was good. Did you watch the whole game?
I watched the whole game, but my sound was switching between that and the Chargers game.
Okay. Do you have any?
I didn't think he did bad. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
What did he do bad at?
Well, one, his voice isn't great. His voice isn't great. And you gotta have a good voice. That's why the lead guys always have the great voice, like Nance. Who's the dude with Collinsworth? I shouldn't be blanking on his name.
Al Michaels.
Al Michaels, yes. Al Michaels, Jim Nance, Even, I mean, Burkhardt with Tom Brady's got a much better voice. And I understand you're not getting Tom Brady for his voice. You're getting him because he's the best quarterback of all time. But he wasn't really giving you like a ton of insight, at least the small sample size that I saw. And then I saw clips as well. There was a lot of times where he just wasn't really saying much of anything. I don't know. People are going to hate on Tom Brady. And it's the first game, but they eviscerated Drew Brees.
Yeah.
I thought Drew Brees did a much better job than Tom Brady. More of a sample size with Drew. They gave him the shaft, throwing him on the Notre Dame games on NBC and fucking Peacock.
Yeah, he got a lot of hate.
Yeah. Drew Brees was not bad. I think it was with Mike Tirico. I don't know that. I just didn't think Tom Brady did very well. And maybe I'm kind of echoing the internet's opinion there. But I truly did watch for 20 minutes, and then I was like, that's Brady. Like, they just threw him on a afternoon.
They were showing video of him entering the stadium and everything.
Yeah, which is like, come on. I mean, they paid him, what, $350 million? They also got rid of Greg Olson, who was good. Greg Olson was really good at calling games.
Yeah, he still calls them. He's just not the number one.
Well, he would have had the Super Bowl. They booted him from the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Brady's going to – there ain't no motherfucking way Tom Brady, unless he gets drastically better, they're going to have to throw a third person in there or something. It wasn't. It was just a lot of it was dead air, nothing really super insightful. Romo kind of like blazed the trail by, oh, Jim, blah, 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 like telling you everything that's about to happen. And then it was overkill. And he kind of kept doing it, where people were like, all right, wise guy, fucking shut up. Can we watch the game? And then you just have these little things that you do, and his is like, oh, I don't know, Jim. Like, so we're gonna find out. Can you just shut the fuck up and let him measure the fucking spot?
Yeah, it's on anything reviewable or measurable.
Yes. So
the red zone guy was even roasting Brady.
Yeah, and he had to come out and make a statement. He said something. Hansen was like, Brady needs to show more emotion. And he said it was tongue-in-cheek, and he had to come out and he like apologized to Brady, which it is his first game, and everybody's piling on him. But that's what happens when you're Tom Brady and you get paid $350 million to get in the booth and call a game. So you better do a goddamn good job, or you're going to get roasted. And we've seen on the Tom Brady roast, he doesn't like to get roasted. So, alrighty, we have reached. We've reached that time. I'm still battling this. They tried to kill me last week with the bad beats and getting me sick, and they should have took me out when they had the chance. We'll dive into the recap college first. My day or my week started out nicely. So Texas -7, we talked about it. I would say, and I needed it. I think I hit the nail on the head with this one. What are your overall thoughts on the game?
Yeah, Texas looked great. Especially, I thought Ewers played extremely well on third down. You said you weren't afraid of Michigan's offense whatsoever. They weren't able to do anything. But, yeah, that was the biggest surprise, was how well Texas's offense did against Michigan's defense.
Yeah, I thought Quinn Ewers kind of exactly what you said on third down. A lot of it was off script and improvising, and he had one called back because of a holding where he threw across his body, but the guy was open, and it was a great throw. He did a lot of improvising and took care of the ball. We saw him a lot of times, like last year with Oklahoma, throwing the pick on the first drive, but you've seen him kind of get in trouble and just make these stupid mistakes. The arm talent's there, and he's great in Sarkisian's system, but I think it was good to see him have that ability of rolling out to his right and just making the right decision. And he just kept moving the chains. I don't know. I'm going to pull it up and see what they finished on third down, but it was.
I mean, they blew him out.
Yeah.
So those numbers could get. I remember early in the game they were doing really well on third down.
Yeah, they're 10-16.
Yeah.
10-16 on third down. They outgained them by over 100 yards. But like I said going in, this was more of, I watched Michigan against Fresno, and there was nothing I saw that worried me about Michigan's ability to score. And Michigan's defense is great. I don't think it's as good as, it's definitely not as good as it was last year. And I don't think it's as good as advertised coming into this year. I think there's a lot of holes on the back end outside of Will Johnson. And you got to tip your cap to Texas's offensive line. Texas' offensive line played fantastic. And they ended up kind of hitting Michigan with a dose of their own medicine where they were just bullying them. They were running, and Ewers didn't even really have to do anything. Texas averaged over 4.5 yards a carry. They had 143 rushing yards. They won the time of possession, obviously. I thought it was about as good of a performance from Texas as you could hope for going on the road in the big house. But I think, I mean, exactly what I said. I think Michigan has a serious problem at quarterback.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I think this is, depending on the schedule, I'd have to look at it closer, but this might be like a 6-win Michigan team. They're not good. Sharon Moore's playing pro bono, or he's coaching pro bono. He doesn't even have a contract signed. They probably did that for good reason. They're like, well, we might be able to go get a bigger name here, and we're not going to have a good year. But so we started off great. Texas -7. Like I said, I was sitting on a -6. Still took them -7. It was no sweat. They win 31-12. Michigan. And I wanted to take under 48, which would have hit. That came way down to, what did it come down to, like 42.5?
Yep.
That touchdown by Warren at the end of the game hit the over. Oh, I would have been fucking furious. So we made the right decision there, taking the Longhorns. Kansas State -9.5. You and I were both on it. What the fuck?
Yeah, this was like so annoying.
What the fuck? This one, yes, was so annoying. Tulane, the freshman quarterback for Tulane played great. But there was some throws that I guarantee you with my life on the line, if you give me a clean pocket, I could make. If you give me a clean pocket, I'm throwing to the busted coverage crossing route that they ran like 2 times in a row and got them both times. The secondary for Kansas State was fucking horrific. And Kansas State still had a chance to cover this number. And they would have covered this number on paper. Questionable call there down at the end for Tulane. But they would have covered this number on paper if Avery Johnson could have hit the wide open guy going into halftime.
Yeah. Yep.
Wide open.
Or if they were a little bit closer and it's not a 50-whatever-yard field goal that they attempted and came up short.
Yes. Or if they give Kansas State the fumble, that was clearly a fumble.
Yeah. It was after the scoop and score, the kickoff right after that, I could have swore with my life that Kansas State knocked the ball out before anybody.
I thought so looking at the replay. I thought on replay review, I thought he did. Maybe I didn't see it close enough, but I thought on replay review he did. This was just what the fuck happened in terms of Kansas State's secondary. Tulane had 342 passing yards. 342. Kansas State had 181. I mean, realistically, Tulane kind of dominated the game. The scoop and score was big.
Yeah.
And was the difference.
Yeah, that was a huge play because Tulane was knocking on the door.
Yeah, Kansas State was 2 of 10 on third down, but towards the end, I don't know if they wore him down or what. Like, what do you think? You think they wore him down because they started gashing him in the run game, and then they started getting to the quarterback. So in the trenches, Kansas State started kind of imposing their will there in the second half. I mean, yeah, they scored 24 points in the second half, 24-7. They outscored them, but they were down 20-10 going into halftime. So. But, yeah, what do you attribute that to? They just started wearing them down? Okay.
On the offensive side, being able to run it towards the end. Yeah. And then the defensive side, they made a few adjustments and started sending a little bit more pressure.
Yeah. Colorado, Nebraska over 57.5. This one, I was fucking kicking myself, and I've had a lot of these to start this season. It's been a rough start to the year, and we're going to turn it around. I was kicking myself we were talking about it, just not taking and laying it with Nebraska. I laid it last year, and I knew the advantage Nebraska had in the trenches against this shitbag Colorado team. But I laid it last year, and Jeff Sims fumbled it 18 times, and I got cold feet this year. We should have just laid it with Nebraska. So we were both on the over. And what happened in the second half, though? Because Nebraska, did they just take their foot off the gas?
Yeah, I mean, look, Nebraska didn't play like flawlessly on offense.
No, they did not. Raiola, to be quite honest. So Matt Rule did come out and say that a lot of it is not he's not holding Raiola back. A lot of it is the play calling is hindered by the play of the receivers not being in the right position, in that there were a lot of shot plays that they dialed up that they're just not running the plays correctly, is essentially what he said. But he's going to bat for his quarterback, but he essentially said, like, Raiola's playing nearly flawlessly and there's an issue going on elsewhere. So they had 28 points in the first half. They scored 0 in the second half.
Yeah.
Colorado won 10-0 in the second half. But of those 28 points, a touchdown came off a pick six, a horrific throw from Shedeur Sanders. One that I was very happy to see, because that's what I was like, okay, we're back. We have a shot. But it quickly became so apparent that Colorado was going to do nothing. So this one was frustrating. Really sloppy game. For one, there was 21 penalties, over 200 yards in penalty yards. But Raiola, he was 23 of 30, 185 yards and a touchdown. I wasn't blown away by his performance at all, but I guess when you look at it, he didn't play bad, and it does kind of align with Matt Rule saying it seems like he put handcuffs on the entire offense. Just we're not going to lose this game. We're not going to allow them to come back. But they were 3 of 12 on third down too. So anyway, we don't hit the over there. We had our first unanimous consensus play of the year. Everybody, I think it was the first. Everybody was on Tennessee minus 7.5. This was easy.
Yep.
This was an easy one. Justin, you kind of had a tough week. I think this was you were on this obviously. What were your thoughts on Tennessee? Did you watch it?
I couldn't watch a lot of it just because I was at the race or the run. I didn't race, but
what time was that?
What'd you do? Party all night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went in all day.
See, this is
I
what.
was watching the Iowa and Iowa State game, the biggest game.
Stop it. This is what irks me, because Justin's not even watching. I've got the worst record at the table right now. I watched every fucking game all day.
Yeah.
And I can't find a winner.
It's pretty exhausting watching all these games.
No, I'm not even kidding. It is.
I get to the end of the day and I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm like, and I went through 2 Ben and Jerry's pints of ice cream. Because I'm like, I'm fucking worn out. I need to, I feel like I worked, so I'm like, I got to reward myself. And it's a problem. They won 51-10. My biggest takeaway from this one was their defensive line is incredible.
Yeah.
So good. There's question marks on the back end in the secondary. I don't know if it fucking matters, because they've got that dude Pierce. Their defense is good. And honestly, Nico, Iamalava, whatever, did not look that great.
No.
Made multiple bad throws. Showed you the potential, looked good in flashes, but the 2 interceptions, they were not good. But the defense holding them to 10 points. McCall was 15 of 22, 104 yards and a pick. Would you say Tennessee's the second best team in the SEC?
I'm not sure.
Neutral site location, Tennessee taking on Ole Miss off the top of your head. Spread.
I
know that's
I don't know. I would maybe favor Tennessee by 2.
I'm taking Tennessee by 3.
But you have Texas, who's in the SEC now.
That's true.
So Georgia and Texas, to me, are the best teams right now. Tennessee, definitely not a team to be overlooked, though.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll speed up this recap a little bit. NIU plus 29.5, like I said, like we touched on. Marcus Freeman, small game Marcus Freeman's worst coach in the country. We cashed the easy winner there as they win outright. The worst bet I've had of the year so far, Oklahoma minus 29.5. I was so hesitant to do it. If you listen to the episode, I'm like, should I? I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. Shouldn't have done it. Oklahoma sucks, and I'm starting to think Jackson Arnold is not good at all. I really am starting to think Jackson Arnold might be a bust. Boise and Oregon over 60.5. This hit by a handful. It was let's see. Yeah, there was 71 points scored. Boise very well could have won this game. Boise was live in this game the entire time. I think, was it Oregon who got a kick return touchdown to kind of keep them in the game? Yeah, they did. They got a punt return touchdown. So there's question marks with Oregon, specifically on the offensive line. They're not as good as everybody thought coming into the year. It makes me feel better about my Ohio State future to win it all, because that's why I was like, out the Big Ten, like they're going to win the Big Ten. I wasn't that high on Oregon, not as high as everybody else. But they were a very popular national championship pick. They don't really look the part. So, did you keep an eye on this one at all?
I watched part of it because I bet Oregon first half minus 11.5 personal play, but it was pretty much never gonna hit, because I think Boise took a lead, and it became clear that like Oregon wasn't going to be able to get the stops they needed to cover the first half spread.
Ashton Genty is fucking good. And I said it coming in. I knew how good he was last year. He went for 192 yards and 3 touchdowns against Oregon.
Yeah, no, he looked great. I've only really watched the first half.
Ashton Genty
because my attention turned elsewhere after that. But
yeah, he might find his way at the Heisman Trophy ceremony. Yeah. I'm not saying he's going to win it, because we won't give it to a fucking running back these days.
He's got nearly 500 yards and 9 touchdowns in 2 games.
Yeah, and I think the schedule, like he just did it against the toughest team that they're probably going to play.
Yeah, no doubt.
Next week you got Portland State, so if they want to throw another 5 touchdowns, they could do it. The Mountain West is not exactly going to pose a threat in terms of. It just depends. I would talk to him, be like, "Do you want to go to the Heisman Trophy ceremony, or do you want to go to the NFL? Like, should we?
Yeah.
When we're going to beat the dog shit out of these teams, and you could run for 300 yards, should we spare your legs and think about the future, or do you want to light it up this year?" So, Liberty minus 22. God bless, dude. God fucking bless. The quarterback for New Mexico State looked like a fucking piece of shit the game before, and it looked like goddamn Diego Pavia was back. I don't know, dude. I'm seeing ghosts like Sam Darnold when it comes to the locks. Bad play. Liberty is like SMU, in my opinion. They remind me of the same fucking team. But we go 4-4 on the week. We're moving in the right direction. We started out horrifically, then we went bad. Now we're 500. You know what comes next. 4-4 brings me to 7-12 overall. 0-3 in my locks of the week. I'm going to say that one not as loud. You went 3-2. We had a lot of the same games. Army FAU under 43. I don't think FAU scored.
They scored 7
at the very end. Had to be late.
It was towards the end.
And then your lock. Oh no, Oregon State, San Diego State was the one a team did not score. Correct?
Yeah, San Diego State didn't score.
So that was an easy one. You hit your first lock so far. You're 3-2 on the week. So a profitable week for you across the board. Brings you to 5-7, 1-2 in your locks. Justin, you had your first bad week of the year. You were kind of carrying the water so far this year. What'd you go, 1-3? 1-2?
1-3.
Okay. What is overall brings you to
6-4.
Okay.
1-0 in my locks.
Okay. Well,
2-0. No, 1-1.
2-1. 2-1. Yeah. 2-1. I was on the fence about week 0. I was kind of hoping everybody would be like, yeah, fuck week 0. So, all right. We look ahead to what I deem kind of a funky week for college football. I don't know what are you? Did you like the board?
I did at open.
I can't.
But you know how it is these days. Everything gets slingshotted every which way.
Yeah.
So
and we've kind of found our we've nestled in. This is year 6 now into our routine doing this show, but it's costing me some fucking money.
Yeah.
So the lines move so much earlier than they used to these days. It would be nice to get some of these. There's a lot of games that I really like, and then it moves through a number that I really like. So sometimes it would be nice to give out a couple plays early, but I don't know. That's a conversation for another day. Thursday, we'll start it off. Do you have any action?
Yep.
Do you? Is it Arizona State, Texas State? Oh, God. I was so on the fence, and I want to do it so bad. So I hope it's the side I want to do it because I will add it.
I'm on the total, but
fuck.
Yeah, their first 2 games, both of the teams showed the ability to run the ball. Arizona State's averaging 293.5 rushing yards per game, 3.8 line yards per rush. Texas State's averaging just over 200 rushing yards per game and 3.7 line yards per rush. It's clear that Arizona State's been tested more than Texas State at this point. They've played Wyoming and Mississippi State. Texas State's played Lamar and UTSA. The Texas State defense, if you remember them from last year, and even if you look at some of the metrics this year, they have serious issues. They can't stop the run. But their quarterback, Arizona State's quarterback's kind of untested. So I'm going to go under here.
Levitt.
Yeah, Sean Levitt is his name. I'm going to go under here. Arizona State, Texas State, under 59.5, I think is what it's at right now. Another key statistic here is Arizona ranks 114th in the nation in tempo, seconds per play, and then Texas State ranks 93rd in that category. So I'm kind of banking on the strengths of the defenses to kind of neutralize the strengths of the offenses, if that makes sense.
So
I think the number's too high.
Tell me I thought Texas State moved fast. I might have looked at something different. What's the stat?
Seconds per play. So it's a measure. It measures how many seconds in between each play.
Okay. Because I don't know what I looked at. I saw Arizona State moves very slow, and I thought I saw Texas State moved at a little faster pace. So I wanted to take Texas State at home. McLeod, the quarterback from JMU, right? Yeah, he has looked not bad, but
no, he had a great season last year. The years before that, when he played at USF, he was really not that good. But last year, he really showed some potential. Let me see what I wrote down.
Arizona State just beat Mississippi State, who is not very good, which we may come back to that later. But Arizona State seems to be better than what people thought coming into the year. But, this is a pretty big game, pretty big implications in terms of the postseason. I want to take Texas State, but I agree with your underplay. I do think it's a lot of points, but you just saw Texas State dominate UTSA. UTSA is not good. So, I was hoping you were going to be on Texas State.
Yeah, I think a lot of the weight's going to be put on McLeod's shoulders here.
Yeah.
Because I do think Arizona State's run defense, even though, we're looking at Wyoming, who traditionally is a good running team, they're like giving up a ridiculous amount of rushing yards per game, like ridiculously low. And I get it's only been 2 games, but that was kind of my thoughts on it, is that if Texas State kind of struggles to run the ball, then maybe it's a little bit too much to put all the weight on McLeod's shoulders here.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, like I mentioned, I'm not a big believer in Sean Levitt yet for Arizona State. So we'll see what happens.
I'll stay away.
I could go either way on the side because, like, originally Texas State being at home, I kind of leaned them getting points. And then, you kind of look at the metrics, and I remember them from last year when TJ Finley played quarterback for them. Their defense was just absolutely horrific, and we're kind of seeing some of that over in this year, especially their run defense. So
yeah,
that's why I ended up staying away from the side.
Yeah, I agree with you on the total, but I'll hold off. I got to trim the fat. That's my problem because, like I said, my winners have been easy winners. And this week, I will say I didn't get burned on anything this week. The losses were just bad plays, but I got to trim the fat. And y'all got to bear with me. I apologize for the cough, and I can't fucking help it. Are you on anything Thursday, Justin?
I am not.
Okay, so we go to Friday. Let's talk about Arizona, Kansas State. Did you take it?
No.
Fuck. God damn it. All right, I think I'm going to take it. And I've gone back and forth. I wanted to take the over, and it moved. It's up to 58.5 now. It's gone through. It was 56. I liked it at 56. Now it's at 58.5. I think I might lay a touchdown with Kansas State.
Okay.
Is that crazy?
No, I don't think so. Originally, I texted you about this game.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was 8.5 or 7.5 in some spots. Like,
yeah.
The early look ahead lines, and this was just after we watched Kansas State play that day.
Yes.
So.
And I just checked. There's 7s.
I think the more I thought about it, the more I started leaning away from taking the points and laying them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're familiar with the combo of Fafita and McMillan. They looked unstoppable against New Mexico, but as I said, and we all know, it wasn't me kind of figuring anything groundbreaking out. New Mexico's defense fucking sucks. It's really bad. Like, might be the worst in the country of any other team. You about to fall off that ledge over there. Jesus. So they light it up. They lit it up. McMillan looked like the best receiver in the country. Fafita was doing what he does. They dropped 60 points on him. But then you saw him go play Northern Arizona, and you're scratching your head because McMillan had 2 catches for like 11 yards. There was a weird moment where Fafita threw a bad ball. I went back and watched the game. Fafita threw a bad ball. McMillan went up for it, and it's not like he didn't try on it, but Fafita looked pissed at McMillan. It was a bad ball by Fafita. It turned into like a contested whatever, and McMillan knocked it away. But he was like kind of chewing him out a little bit, and then he didn't really go back his way. So I have questions on Arizona's offensive line. I felt like Northern Arizona was getting much more pressure on Fafita than they should have. I think Kansas State's going to have a serious advantage in the trenches. We saw it against Tulane. Tulane is not a bad team, and that was with a freshman quarterback, I understand, but he looked good. They need to clean up the issues on the secondary, because when I tell you it was one of the worst performances from a collegiate secondary, at least for like a ranked school, that you'll see in quite some time. It was so bad. So that's worrisome. That's why I like the over at 56. But I feel like outside of McMillan, the receivers at Arizona are good. They're okay. But I really think Kansas State's defensive line is going to be able to get after Fafita early and often, throw off a lot of that timing. On the other side, I don't think Arizona's defense is spectacular. I think that there's going to be an advantage for Kansas State running the ball. Also, too, if you look at when they played New Mexico, Devin Dampier was running all over him. Devin Dampier was cutting up in that game for quite a minute. I think he had 150 yards rushing. It was 130 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. I would like to see Kansas State take Avery Johnson and run him till the wheels fall off, okay? He's not that great at passing. He can run the shit out of the ball. There's going to be a lot of opportunity to run. They don't do a great job at setting the edge. The Northern Arizona quarterback had plenty of room to run. He just wasn't really good. But we saw Devin Dampier run all over him. Avery Johnson should be able to do the same thing. They don't do a good job of containing the edge. So I'm going to take Kansas State. We're going to lay the touchdown at home in a game in a bounce back spot where you would hope. The coach said he hadn't seen his secondary, which this was a relatively highly touted secondary coming in. The coach was scratching his head on what was going on. Hopefully, I would expect that we see you would hope that they clean it up a little bit. So, I don't know. Call me crazy, but I'm going to lay the touchdown with Kansas State at home.
Yeah, I expect this is a much easier test offensively for Kansas State, because the defense for Arizona is just, like you said, it's not very good at all, and they have some playmakers, especially at running back, and the quarterback can run. But Dylan Edwards looked really good.
So did Giddens.
Yeah, in the beginning of the game, but then Edwards kind of came in the second half and kind of was giving us life, because we were freaking down at halftime with a 9.5-point favorite.
I agree.
And
I think they wanted to. In a perfect world, Avery Johnson's able to throw the football, and they don't have to run him and risk him getting hurt. But the world ain't always perfect. That motherfucker can't really throw. So I'm not saying he won't. He's not progressing like you would have liked. He misses a lot of routine throws. He struggles with the swing passes to the goddamn running back.
Yeah.
He's missing throws downfield. But what he can do is he can fucking run like Boobie Miles. Give him the football. Run read options with Edwards and Giddens and Avery Johnson. I would throw them for a loop and just run it down their fucking throat. You have an advantage in the trenches. Kansas State should be able to handle this game. I believe that. So I will lay the 7 with the Wildcats. Are you on? Jesus Christ, dude, I'm struggling. Are you on either of those games on Friday, Justin?
No. Oh.
No, I'm not.
All right. All right, we go to Saturday. Do you have anything at 11? I guess it doesn't matter. Lead it off.
I didn't write down any.
Yeah, lead it off with your first one.
I'm going to Troy at Iowa. This Troy team is like nowhere good, nowhere near as good as what they used to be. I think they're going to struggle to move the ball at all against this Iowa defense. And last week, Troy gave up 7.3 yards per rush against Memphis. It's kind of like a match made in heaven here for Iowa because they definitely want to lean on the run. So I think Iowa runs away with this one. I'm going to lay 22 with Iowa.
Okay. All right, Justin, what's your first one for Saturday?
My first one's going to be an 11 o'clock game going to Florida State. Okay. Florida State minus 6.5. It's simply now or never for Florida State to salvage a positive season. They're coming off of 2 straight losses against 2 pretty scrappy teams that are looking to be solid teams this year. DJU struggled against Georgia Tech, and then last week it looks like they're trying to turn him loose a little bit and have him start slinging the ball as he had 272 yards and 42 passing attempts. One good thing about Memphis, though, is they do pass the ball pretty well, averaging 235 yards a game, but Florida State has one of the best secondaries and ranks in the top 20 in the country for passing yards allowed. I mean, if you're Mike Norvell right now, you're looking at your schedule and you want to win these next 3 games, and they're very winnable games before you have to go against Clemson and Miami. So I'm going to lay it with at 6.5.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. It is now or never for Florida State. But we'll see. We'll fucking see. The problem, so yeah, their secondary does rank well, but that's because these other 2 teams ran it down their motherfucking throat. So they didn't have to throw it. Well, it is now or never. I was high on this Florida State team, at least in that first week. They spit down my fucking throat. But
yeah, Memphis isn't bad.
No, but yeah, I looked at this one for a while, and like full disclosure, actually we talked about this. But it keeps moving back and forth between a touchdown.
It was 5.5 when I wanted to bet Florida State, and then it moved to 7, or I don't know if it touched 7.5. But once it got to a touchdown, I was like, I'm just gonna stay away.
Yeah. So,
but under a touchdown, like it is now, is tempting.
Yeah, and yeah, no, I don't think I understand the logic behind the play. It's just I can't do it after what they did to me week 0. Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't really think Georgia Tech's that good. I think they looked really good because Florida State looked so bad. And I do think that Florida State does have good players, but ukulele sucks. I'm not falling for that. I hope you win it, Justin. I really do, but I ain't fucking getting burned by that son of a bitch ever again. But I do agree with it is now or never.
Who has Memphis played? Do you know that?
I can tell you in 5 seconds. Troy and UNA. North Alabama. They beat North Alabama 40-0. They beat Troy 38-17. I'm struggling. Hannigan's 42 of 60, 469 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really tell. The thing is, I feel like you don't really know who Memphis is yet.
Yeah, definitely not.
But I kind of feel like I know who Florida State is. So if you're like exactly that. You're going to find out. It is now or never for Florida State. So are they going to be able to salvage? Well, no, you can't salvage. They're not making the college football playoff. So you gotta hope that they're not kind of packing it in, basically. Yeah. So talent-wise, though, Florida State has the better talent. So, all righty, let's talk Oklahoma State and Tulsa. This has just firmly sat at 20. Are you on this one?
No.
Should be. Remember last week when I was like, we don't have enough. We need to take Clemson minus 17, and they scored fucking 50 points in the first half. I know,
that game pissed me off because I was so tempted.
I throw these little...
And it came down to 16.5, and I was like, oh, my...
I throw these, like, I put a lure out there, and I'm hoping y'all like, we should. And I'll be like, I'll do it. Like, but y'all just let me fucking say shit. I responded. I said
I thought about it.
I don't recall. I don't know.
You got to go listen back. I definitely said that.
All right, let's talk Oklahoma State and Tulsa. Oklahoma State just survived a double overtime scare against Arkansas. They didn't look sharp, and they should have lost the game. Arkansas did everything they could to give the game to Oklahoma State, and they succeeded. And not only did Oklahoma State win, they managed to cover in double overtime. At least the original line, it grew. We talked about it on the podcast, and I was like, I kind of want to take Oklahoma State. We were low on Arkansas. I'll be the first to say I think Arkansas is better than what we thought. Arkansas is not that bad, so it's going to be a little dicey on the win total there. Oklahoma State did not look good, though. So if it wasn't for a Taylor Green pick six, that was really their only offensive touchdown, I think, in the first half. They had 7 points in the first half, and it was because Taylor Green gave it to them. Now you got to go play Tulsa, which it's an away game on paper, but it's an hour away. Not much of a road game, really, but on deck. This is the ultimate look-ahead spot, letdown spot, whatever you want to call it. You just went to a double overtime, hard-fought game with Arkansas. You had to scrap, claw your way back into it. You've got Utah and then Kansas State on deck. Right before you play them, you've got little old Tulsa, the little brother, an hour away, who just so happened to beat Oklahoma State the last 2 times they played. Last time was in 2021, so it was it was recent. Tulsa has Kirk Francis at quarterback, completing 70% of his passes. He's thrown 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. It's little old Tulsa. You don't have to worry about them. They're getting 20 points, and we're going to take them. I'm going to take Tulsa plus 20. Let's keep it close. The offense did not look good. Bowman didn't look good. They're not really getting a lot of push with Ollie Gordon, who is one of the best running backs in the country. I understand. This is a Notre Dame style sleepy early kick. Let's not give a shit about this game. Let's win by 14 and let's get out of here. Let's go prepare for Utah. So give me Tulsa plus 20. God, I would love 21, but
yeah,
it has not moved. I'm going to double check that, to be quite honest, just to make sure. But go ahead and with your next one for Saturday.
I got an ugly one.
Well, do you have an opinion on that?
Not really.
You never have an opinion. you never, not even like a, yeah, I like it. There's a 20.5. So I'll take 20.5. Go ahead. What's your ugly one?
Kennesaw State at San Jose State. San Jose State's 19.5-point favorites. The over-under is 43.5. It's Kennesaw State's first year in the FBS, and they've looked like complete trash. There's almost zero good things to say about this team. But with that being said, I'm going to take Kennesaw State plus 19.5. You just look at the San Jose State team. The quarterback kind of gives me concerns laying, like if you were to lay this big a number with him. He's thrown an interception in each game so far, and he fumbled twice in their opener against Sacramento State. He only completes 56% of his passes. Like I said, there's really nothing good to say about Kennesaw State. It's just that we think 19.5 points is too many here, so we're going to take them.
Okay. All right. We're going to fast forward kind of to the end of Saturday for my next one, UTSA in Texas. This is my weekly, like, I'm going to be here a week from fucking today and be like, yeah, I shouldn't have did that. But I'm going to do it. So I'm going to lay the points with Texas. It's a big number. Again, it kind of contradicts exactly what I just said. Letdown spot, I guess, after a huge win in the Big House. But the reason being here, UTSA is not good. They're not good. And Texas has the best backup quarterback in the country in Arch Manning. He would start probably at just about every other fucking school, and realistically is probably good enough to start over Quinn Ewers. And for that reason, we're going to lay the points, 34.5 with the Longhorns. UTSA won a close game against the bad Kennesaw State school that you just mentioned. UTSA edged one out. And then they got killed by Texas State, another school who we talked about. Texas State had 500 plus yards on offense. I think Texas is going to trounce them. I think Sarkisian, you just saw what Notre Dame did. You go out, just handle business. But the thing is, when you put Quinn Ewers to the side because you're up 30 points, then comes in Arch Manning, and you're not going to want to throw in Arch Manning in a position to look bad. So I think they're still going to allow him to put points up on the board. I don't think they're going to take their foot off the gas. I don't think you're going to throw him out there with the backups and necessarily to allow him to either A, get hurt, or B, just look bad. They're paying him a lot of money. He's the heir apparent. I think that Texas wins this game by fucking 50 points. So I'll lay the 34.5. How do you feel about that?
I would lay him.
Yeah, but you're not. So
UTSA
is bad.
Looks horrible.
Frank Harris left, and all their hopes of ever winning a game.
There was a team I broke down that played them, and it was 48-10 or something.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Texas State.
Okay, yeah.
But then the team who played them before that, Kennesaw.
Yeah, and they played
won
them tight.
28-16.
Kennesaw State might be the worst team in the FBS.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, am I crazy? Like, do you think they're not going to go to the third string? They would put Arch in.
Yeah, no, they definitely want to get him.
And then they're going to want him to look good. They're not going to like...
Because Ewers has been hurt before, and if he does get hurt, then Arch Manning will be just as good,
But they're paying him like $10 million or some crazy shit. So you're not putting him out there with the backups. You're not going to put him out there in a potential spot to get hurt. And you're definitely going to try to put points up on the board. So, yeah, I'm laying the points with Texas here. All righty. What's your next one, Justin?
I want to say there's a 2:30 game.
Okay.
It's going to be one of the more interesting games. Both teams are coming into this 2-0. Oregon seems to be having an underwhelming performance to start the season, coming off of a 10-point win against Idaho.
The Civil War.
And a 3-point win against Boise State. Oregon State has one of the best running attacks in the country, averaging 300 yards a game. I think Dylan Gabriel and the Ducks win this game, but not by more than 16 on the road against their rival, taking Oregon State plus 16.
Oh, goodness. Are you on this?
No.
I'm taking Oregon. This is Civil War. It's a big game. Oregon's looked very underwhelming. I can see why. I can see why Oregon State's the play. I think Oregon's going to come out and handle business in this one. So, and this is not just, Justin's taking it, so I'm hopping on the other side. I had this one written down. I think the offense is going to get going, and Dylan Gabriel showed the ability with the downfield passing and all of that. Oregon has weapons. Dan Lanning is a defensive guy. Eventually, the defense is going to fucking show up, I think. I don't think Oregon State is good enough to really bully them in the trenches. But, I mean, Boise held their own in the trenches, but you had Oregon still.
Boise's good.
Yeah, no, Boise's not bad at all.
They might be the best group of 5
Yes,
teams.
I agree. And I think they had the shortest odds of making the playoff out of all those teams. So, in Oregon State, like Justin said, they can run the ball. They don't have Ashton Genty. So, and you had Ashton Genty basically carry the water for that offense. So, I just think this is the spot. This is the spot that Oregon starts. People were wrong about how good Oregon was, but I don't think that they were that wrong. So I think it's just been kind of a slow. They've had the injuries on the offensive line that they've been dealing with, but you've had Gabriel kind of settle in, I suppose. He's honestly, Gabriel's playing great. He's not really throwing very many incompletions. He was 18 of 21, 243 yards and 2 touchdowns against Boise. Stewart had a great game, 5 catches, 112 and a touchdown. The downfield passing is going to be there. I think we're going to see better play in the trenches, and Dan Lanning as a defensive guy. Oregon State beat San Diego State by 21. I don't think San Diego State's good at all. They did the bulk of their scoring in the fourth quarter. They went two scoreless quarters. So I'd already planned on laying it with Oregon. What number did you get, Justin?
16.
Okay, so there's a 16 and then there's a 16.5. So take the 16.5. I'll take the 16. There's a couple other rivalry games this week too. And one of my favorites is the Backyard Brawl. Are you on it?
No.
God damn it. Stop betting these fucking Kennesaw State games. Justin, are you on the Backyard Brawl?
What is that? Washington State?
Oh my God, this guy.
I didn't even mean to set you up for that. Justin, come on. We gotta.
What's that one called?
You're talking about the Apple Cup.
Are they even playing each other this week? Oh,
yes.
okay.
No, yeah. Justin, the Backyard Brawl is Pitt and West Virginia. We were on this 2 years ago. You remember we were on this 2 years ago, early. I think it might have been week 1, and it was an incredible game. There was a pick
such
six.
a great game.
Yes, there was a pick 6 to seal it. I love Pitt. I love Narduzzi. They're getting 3 points, but I kind of lean West Virginia. I really wish one of y'all would ever be on these motherfucking games that I'm on the fence on. This is going to be a fantastic game, to watch, just as a fan. I haven't gotten my eyes on Pitt enough to feel confident. I don't think Cincinnati's good. I know that. And they just beat Cincinnati by 1 point, and they really shouldn't have. They scored 15 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And kicked a field goal for the win. So, but the quarterback is not playing bad. I don't know. I fucking wish that. And it's growing in favor of West Virginia. So it opened big, came down, and then now it's being bet back in favor of West Virginia. God damn it, dude. I like Donaldson at running back. I mean, let's put it this way. We were talking about it. I leaned West Virginia against Penn State. Terrible decision. Thank God I didn't take it.
And then Penn State had a nail biter.
Yes, against Bowling Green. Yeah, no, this is why. That reminds me. Because some guy hopped on the I don't know if you get the YouTube notifications, but somebody commented on the previous episode, and he's like, these guys lose 95% of their locks. I was like, impossible. So we only give you 6. So even if we only went 1-6, that's not fucking 5%, you stupid jackass. And then and it was like in the midst of a great NFL day so far. Like it was before the night games and all of that. So we were doing well, and we did well on the week. But I mean, these clowns, it's like that's when, and we have not done great. Let me preface with that. We haven't done great. We need to do better. We're going to do better this week. Like I said, we're trimming the fat. But suck my dick, you fucking loser. So if you're week 2, week 3, whatever, commenting already, nobody knows what the fuck's going on. Exactly that. You've got Penn State dominating a decent West Virginia team and then kind of getting bullied by Bowling Green. That wasn't really a fluky game either. So it's early in the season, so blow me. God, dude, I want to have a play on this. I really do. Do you have a lean? You haven't hardly seen. You probably haven't seen Pitt. And you saw West.
I saw West Virginia against Penn State.
We've seen the same. Pitt beat Kent State, who I think stinks, 55-24. Fuck. I want to take them so bad, but I'll wait. Y'all are killing me, dude. And then Justin, we need to get on the same page here with the rivalry games. Do you know the Egg Bowl?
Yes.
What is it?
Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
Thank you. Backyard Brawl, West Virginia, Pitt, the Apple Cup, Washington and Washington State, and then the Civil War, Oregon. And
what about the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe or whatever it's called?
The battle for Paul Bunyan's axe. That's definitely not the name of it. If you give me the actual name of the rivalry.
It's something like that.
Yeah, you thinking of Oregon State with the?
No, it's Minnesota and.
I didn't know if you were thinking about the chainsaw or whatever.
Who's Minnesota's rival game?
Who gives a shit?
Might be Wisconsin.
Yeah, maybe. I would check out.
Find out for me, Justin. I think Paul Bunyan's axe.
I think all I have left is my lock, but I'm telling you, I need more. But this is my problem. That's what I said. We got to trim the fat. But then I'm like, we need more.
Yeah, it's hard because, the lines come out Sunday morning, and then we're kind of like in the middle.
Yes.
We're
before a lot of people, but we're before the majority of shows. Typically, they go a little bit later, but we're kind of in no man's land.
Yeah.
You either kind of want to be early or late.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we've always done it this way, and I don't think Tuesday's not a bad day. You still got plenty of time.
It's Minnesota, Wisconsin.
Good call.
And that's what it's called, isn't it?
Paul Bunyan's axe? Oh, shit. Let's talk about this game. How many more do you have before you lock?
Just one. I mean, no, I just have my
Just
lock.
your lock? What about you?
I have one and then my lock.
What's your one?
It's an evening game.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss and Wake Forest.
Okay.
I'm going to take the over in this, 63.5. Seems like kind of a square bet, but, I mean, it's the number 1 offense and number 13 offense, led by Jackson Dart and Hank Bachmeier, two veterans that have been producing for a few years. These two teams are combining for 101.5 points per game, and both throwing over 65%, and neither of them has an interception. Ole Miss clearly has more firepower and has the way better defense. It's going to find the big holes in the Wake Forest defense. I think Wake Forest gets a few touchdowns, and Bachmeier tries to compete with Jackson Dart and Ole Miss, but Jackson Dart's Ole Miss is going to run away with it, and it's going to be a whole bunch of points.
Okay, as a Boise State alum, I am obligated to tell you that Hank Bachmeier fucking sucked last year.
He looked great last week.
He fucking sucked last year, though.
Yeah, no, he did. Who did he play for last year again?
Louisiana Tech.
Okay, yeah. No, he looked pretty damn good against Virginia. I'm not going to lie.
They lost.
Yeah, by 1, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was a big comeback by Virginia.
It was a pretty damn good game, and Bachmeier played much better than I expected him to.
27-42, 403 yards and a touchdown. I'm going to be honest. I'm glad I didn't say it, but I'll say it now. Right as you said Ole Miss, Wake Forest, I was looking at the under. It's a lot of points. and it's growing. It is going up. So you said 63.5?
Yes.
Okay, 63.5 still available. There's also 64.5s available here. I don't think Wake Forest is going to score very much. And obviously the bulk of the bulk of your scoring is coming from Ole Miss. You said they're going to kill them. So you're going to need Ole Miss to put up a big number here. And they will. I don't know if Wake Forest is going to be able to do their part.
They do the same shit they've been doing.
Yeah, the mesh, slow.
But it seems even slower than ever.
Yeah. But I didn't watch.
And then out of nowhere, Bachmeier pulls it and throws it.
Don't get me wrong. Hank Bachmeier.
I'm telling you, he looked like the old Bachmeier.
I would have died. I would have took a bullet for Hank Bachmeier back in the day. There's a Boise State helmet right there on the table.
He looked like the old Bachmeier. I was like, what the hell?
But Boise State has broken me too many times on stream too.
And Wake Forest's defense. I pretty much watched the entire Virginia Wake Forest game, and they're not very good.
Yeah.
So if I'm not as high on Ole Miss as everybody else seems to be, but
well, they haven't played shit.
The running back they got from Miami, I forget his first name, Parrish Jr.
Yeah.
Is his last name
Henry Parrish Jr. Do they still have what's his name, Duplessis or whatever? What was it? What was his last name? Might not have been Duplessis, but it was something weird like that. Ulysses Bentley.
Okay, I don't know if they
Ulysses. Yeah, he's still there. But yeah,
he's good too.
Yeah, so one thing you don't want to get caught up on though, Justin, is like, yes, Ole Miss is gonna have a good passing offense, and I think you said they're leading. They might be number one, but they've played fucking tomato cans. They played Furman 76-0, and then they played Middle Tennessee 52-3. I'm not saying you got to worry about this Wake Forest defense, but sometimes those stats can be misleading, whereas it's like LSU's passing offense going and doing what they did against USC's defense is more impressive than Ole Miss lighting up Furman 76-0, obviously. So I don't know. I'm not. Like I said, I leaned under, but just because it's such a high fucking number, and everybody keeps talking about the coaches and the headsets, so they're pretty much. You're just seeing a lot of longer, drawn out plays, or in between plays. So, but Ole Miss is going to trounce Wake Forest. This just comes down to, is Bachmeier going to put up enough points on the board? You obviously. Backed up his point of Bachmeier did not look bad. I didn't watch the game, so I can't say anything from that standpoint. But I've been scarred by Hank Bachmeier, and they ain't getting me again. Maybe next week. Colorado State. Are either one of y'all on it?
No,
I'm not.
No. Okay.
How's Shedeur? How's his arm?
Shiloh's is broken, but Shedeur
wasn't it his arm too, or was it something else? He came out the game.
He came out the game because they were getting fucking bent.
But he was also banged up.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. But I don't know. I didn't know that anything was wrong with his arm, but I know Shiloh broke his arm, and then the defense played better. So
yeah,
he's not very good, but his last name is Sanders, and he plays for the Colorado Sanders. What else? So we're just down to locks, right?
Yep.
I'm going to let you lead the locks this time because it ain't going well for me. I'm interested, though. I feel fucking good about my lock this week. I will tell you that right now. And if I lose this one, I'm going to be living under a fucking bridge. I almost wanted to lay it with Virginia Tech, too, against Old Dominion. I was like,
I thought about
Virginia Tech's about to get right, but I can't do it after.
They covered last week, I think. Or maybe they just barely. It
was very late. They made a late push. I know they weren't playing great. I think it was against Marshall.
Yeah.
They weren't playing great for a minute there.
They might have not covered. They might have won by 17 or something like 31-14 or something.
All right. This is our best bets of the week for college football. It is our locks of the week. There is no such thing as a lock, but if there were.
It's a lock, Kramer. You've had this thing under control for almost 3 years now. But it's a lock.
They need that fucking juice. They need that next bet. They need. Come on. Yes! When they win, they go fucking crazy.
You're a bad motherfucker. Go in that shower, grab your fucking nuts, and tell the world somebody's sniffing my fucking nutsack today. Because I ain't got time to fuck around no more.
All right, I'm going to Friday night. UNLV at Kansas. Kansas is 7-point favorites. I'm going to get straight to the point. I've been impressed with the UNLV defense so far. They wreak havoc. They rank 12 in the nation in yards per play allowed, and they're only allowing a 10% success rate on passing downs. Jalen Daniels, he used to be good, but he's coming off a 3-interception game against Illinois, and he threw another one against Lindenwood in their first game. I just think 7 is way too many points to be given UNLV here, so I'm going to take UNLV plus 7.
I like it. Alrighty. For my lock of the week, I'll have to see what your thoughts are. Let me get an updated number real quick, just to be positive. Give me a second. Is there? Oh, there is. Okay. My lock of the week is going to be the LSU Tigers, minus 6.5. And I don't really bet LSU all that often, and I very rarely make them my lock. So you can call it a homer pick, call it whatever you want, but like I said, I'm not often on LSU these days. LSU comes into this one off an underwhelming performance against Nicholls. South Carolina just beat Kentucky 31-6 on the road. LSU's a touchdown favorite, basically 6.5. I think they should be. I think they're much better than South Carolina at every phase. We're going to lay the points. USC is much better than what we thought coming into the year. So that loss to USC, it's not really a bad loss, in my opinion. South Carolina beat Old Dominion 23-19 at home. Freshman quarterback Lenoris Sellers wears the Spoggles. He was 10-23 for 114 yards. Old Dominion outgained South Carolina and was 50% on third down. They turned it over 4 times. They're a really bad football team. If you don't turn it over 4 times, they're going to beat South Carolina. Then you go play Kentucky, who Vandegrift came in with some hype. I don't know why. Some people clearly missed the mark there. They have a serious problem on offense. They just threw for 44 yards. South Carolina only had 252 yards of offense. The record says 2-0. South Carolina is not a good football team. I don't care what the record says. I think LSU shows with a dominant performance here. South Carolina's moving the chains only 28% of the time. They talk about this D-line for South Carolina is supposed to be good. The secondary is supposed to be good. Our offensive line struggles in run blocking, apparently, but they're very good in pass protection. I think we're going to see Garrett Nussmeier absolutely light it up. If you listen to Brian Kelly and what he's saying Nussmeier might throw for 45 or 50 touchdowns, and I believe him. And he said, we're going to need every single one of them. I believe in Blake Baker. I think the defense played solid against USC. It was a sleepwalk game against Nicholls. I'm not that worried about it. If we don't dominate this South Carolina team, it's going to be a travesty because they suck. They're really bad on offense. If the defense is good, I don't care. I think the offense is so bad that eventually we're going to wear them down. We've got too many weapons on the outside. You give Nussmeier time to throw. LSU is going to lay a big number here. So my lock of the week is going to be the LSU Tigers minus 6.5. Justin, what is your lock?
I'm going back to a game that you already touched on, Logan.
Okay.
Let's see. Texas playing like they are one of the best in the country right now, putting up nearly 470 yards a game and only allowing 230 yards a game. Coming off of a big win against Michigan last week, and they got 2 pretty easy wins lined up before they take on their first SEC matchup, Mississippi State. I don't think this is going to be a look-ahead game at all, but I expect Texas to come out fast and strong and then let Arch Manning come in for the second half and, do what he does, kind of like what you said. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take Texas minus 21 for the first half.
Oh, you threw a little curveball in there. 21. Well, okay. You threw me for a loop. Well, that negates your Arch Manning thing.
Yeah.
More like I thought they were going to play a little conservative in the second half.
Oh, then that's not what I said at all. I thought that's what you said. No. I said
he
no.
said they're going to let Arch Manning
That's why I'm taking
him
a full game. I think Arch Manning's going to come in and he's going to – they're paying too much damn money for – don't get me wrong. Texas should dominate this fucking team. They should be up more than 3 touchdowns in the first half. So I'm not saying I disagree with your play there. But I disagree with the reasoning. I think Arch Manning's going to come in. And if Arch Manning comes in and they fucking run the ball, I'm going to be pissed that you just jinxed this. But I think, they're paying him so much money. You don't want to put him out there to not look good. So you're not going to put him out there with the backups and risk him possibly getting hurt. But 2, I think he's incredible. So he's fucking good. But no, I don't disagree with the play at all. So we're going to have action left and right all over this fucking Texas game. Give me your thoughts on LSU.
I thought about it long too.
Have you seen this kid, Lenora Sellers?
Yeah, I watched. I thought about taking South Carolina last week plus 10 against Kentucky, and I just kind of watched the beginning of it a little bit. He came out for maybe a few plays, and I don't know if it was a whole series, but the other guy kind of looks almost just like him. But yeah, he's not a talented thrower. No. They have Rocket Sanders from Arkansas, who's maybe past his prime and he's still in college.
Yes.
I don't know. The thing that I want to know is if Chris Hilton's coming back for LSU yet.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's a speedster that can really stretch the defense and open up the offense for LSU with a downfield threat. It's something that we kind of noticed in the USC game. We weren't really throwing the ball downfield as much as we did last year.
Yeah. Another thing, too, is if you listen to Brian Kelly, everything he's saying is like they understand the mistakes they made against USC. Like, it just sounds like they're going to lean on Nussmeier more, and they understand, like, with Emory getting hurt and all of that, which I still think, I don't know, dude. I think Jackson's not a bad running back. Like, I still think we're still going to be able to run the ball, but we didn't against Nichols, and I just think Nussmeier, you do too. We both think Nussmeier is very good, obviously. You were higher on Nussmeier than I was from the get-go. I think they're going to just let him fucking sling it all across the field, and I don't think South Carolina is going to be able to stop it. I don't. I understand there's a touted secondary for South Carolina. If you can't do shit on offense and you keep putting your team back out there, you keep putting the defense back out on the field, LSU is going to wear them down eventually. But with the weapons on the outside, Lacey and Daniels, and if Hilton comes back, it's a no-brainer for me. And maybe I'm missing the mark, dude, because it's been a slow start for me here. But like I said, we're trimming the fat this week. Last game I want to talk about in college, and then we'll do the money line parlay, which we can't hit to save our motherfucking lives.
We're still doing that.
Yeah. Excuse me.
If y'all have the one I picked, I already have it. I'm going with an underdog. If y'all have the favorite I picked.
Okay, well, TCU, UCF. Did you look at it?
Just for a moment, but
the line's flipped.
It's 1 in favor of UCF still. That's what I saw.
It's now 2, I believe.
Okay.
Why are we not?
I saw TCU. I didn't get to see UCF this year yet.
I watched UCF. Obviously, I watched TCU against Stanford. I watched UCF against. I guess it was Sam. No, it had to be UNH. Was that New Hampshire? Jefferson didn't look good. He looked like shit.
Yeah, I remember you texting me that.
Yeah, he looked like shit. He was 7 of 14, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. They still won 57-3. So,
did he run it at all?
Oh, goddamn! R.J. Harvey ran that bitch. Jefferson ran it 11 times for 39 yards and a touchdown. R.J. Harvey 11 carries, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. Penny Boone 781 and a touchdown. I want to take UCF. I really didn't think that Hoover played. I don't think he's bad, so it does worry me a little bit. But they should have covered that game against Stanford. The defense definitely kind of started having their way in the second half. They only held Stanford to 10 points, but I just feel like with those running backs and Jefferson, they can lean on those guys, and short yardage situations will be easy to pick up. But I mean, the total's pretty high. It's over 60, so they're expecting points, obviously. I want to take UCF. There was a lot of games that I was hoping y'all were on, and I got to stop. I got to stop reaching, so I'm not going to do it. But we should be on the fucking. This is Clemson. This is Clemson last week. We should be on UCF.
No? Yeah, I don't know.
God damn it.
I just wish I would have been able to see him yet.
God damn it. We know what they are.
I mean, we got
Run the ball.
Yeah.
Run the ball.
I wish I got to see their defense.
All right. To recap, I am taking Kansas State -7, Tulsa +20.5, Texas -34.5, Oregon -16.5, and my lock of the week is going to be the LSU Tigers -6.5.
I'm going Arizona State, Texas State under 55.5, UNLV +7. That's my lock of the week. Kennesaw State +19.5, and we're taking Iowa -22.
Alrighty, Justin.
I got Florida State minus 6.5, Oregon State plus 16, Ole Miss and Wake Forest over 63.5, and my lock of the week is going to be Texas first half minus 21.
Alrighty. That is our best bets of the week for college football. I told you, we started out bad, then we did better but still bad, then we did 500 even across the board, and now we are going to get them. Smaller card, can't get them that much. That's what bothers me. I want 12 plays so we can really get them, but we gotta be smarter here. All right, we looked at the NFL. We'll recap real quick. We're running a little long, so we'll pick up the pace here a little bit. Thursday, we had Ravens and Chiefs over 46. Me and Nick were both on it. It hit by 1 point. It should have hit by 3 scores. So there were 17 points that were left on the field by my count, maybe even more. But a winner is a winner. Eagles, Packers, I was on the over 48. This was easy. Easy. Even with the bad field, this one hit with, like, right at the start of the second half, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So then we had my lock of the week to start it off on Sunday. Bengals, Patriots under 40.5. I said I didn't think the Patriots would score very much, and they didn't. I think they scored 1 touchdown. Or I said they wouldn't find their way into the end zone very often, and they didn't. Scored 1 touchdown. The difference was that the Bengals only found their way in the end zone once, I'm pretty sure. So didn't see that necessarily coming, but I did say I was kind of hesitant about Joe Burrow and his usage and the stability of his wrist, which it looked like he aggravated it again. I don't know if you saw that. He was trying on gloves and shit, and he was moving it around. He got hit by one of the linemen, and he aggravated it again for sure, so that's something to monitor. So we started out 3-0, and I was feeling great. And we were playing with house money at that point after hitting the lock, but like I said, there was no getting burned this week. The wins were good wins. The losses were bad losses. Jets plus 4.5 on Monday night. They stink. Their defense is not good. I don't know what. The 49ers are just that good.
Yeah.
Just head and shoulders better. Just moving them, though. I was kind of appalled by how bad the Jets defense looked.
Yeah, there was a couple plays, though, in the game. I didn't really watch it in its entirety, but I saw some of the plays that were kind of like momentum changers, you know, for the Jets not being able to get things going on offense.
Kept giving out,
there was a drop on 3rd down.
Yeah, well, there was a drop on 4th down, too.
Yeah, and then the pick, which was tipped.
Yes, and they just kept letting the Niners pick up long 3rd downs, which was bothering me. But then Washington plus 3.5. I took a shot with Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback. Baker Mayfield played good. The Buccaneers looked better than I thought they would. I still think their defense is going to be able to be exploited by a more seasoned quarterback. But it was a bad play. So we go 3-2 on the week. You had your usual 3 plays. You hit on Chiefs-Ravens over like I touched on. Dude, I'm struggling. Like I touched on. Browns minus 2.5. Deshaun Watson.
I don't have anything to say about Deshaun Watson.
You hit your lock of the week, though, which is most important. Chargers minus 3.
Yeah, the Raiders, I'm going to be honest, they didn't look bad. They weren't able to score a lot of points, but
Define didn't look bad.
I wanted to bet them this week, but then I found out they're playing the Ravens.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even risk it. They're getting 9.5 points, but
I didn't think they looked good.
They didn't look that – I thought they looked decent.
Define – okay.
For most part of the game, they held the Chargers running the football. It wasn't until late in the game where Dobbins busted the long one, and then
So you're holding this Chargers team into a higher regard than I am, though.
What you mean?
I don't think they have any fucking weapons. They have a good quarterback, but they've got J.K. Dobbins who's playing on.
He's good. He's gonna be good.
I know he's
good. If he doesn't get injured, he's gonna be good.
He's got the knees of a fucking geriatric.
If you got
man.
him in fantasy, you scored big there.
He only had 10 carries. I understand 135 yards and a touchdown, but I don't know how sustainable that is.
Well, they use Gus Edwards to take the load off.
I'm just saying, a rookie receiver led the Chargers in receiving. 5 catches, 39 yards, and a touchdown.
That's what I'm saying. The Raiders looked good. Their defense looked really good.
I don't think I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it as the Chargers don't have shit. The Chargers don't have shit on offense except a good quarterback. But if Ladd McConkey's your leading receiver, you're in trouble.
Ladd McConkey is going to be one of the best receivers in the league.
Zamir White didn't look good. Fucking Minshew didn't look good.
He didn't look bad, though. I'm telling you. Watch out for this Raiders team.
Okay. All right. So you hit your lock of the week. So you got off to, like I said, you'll go 2-1 every week. The NFL strategy that you've developed is tried and true. So 2-1, 1-0 in your locks. So Justin, you went 2-1 as well, I believe.
Correct. Yep.
What was your? Did you hit the lock?
Yes, my lock was the Colts and Texans
under.
Over.
Oh, over. Right.
Yeah, and it wasn't looking good. And then in the fourth quarter, I want to say they had like 24, 21 points.
We do have to talk about, I texted you, Anthony Richardson sucks, but he had the most impressive throw I've ever seen in my life.
He had 42 points in our league, too.
Did you watch the game, though, Justin?
No, yeah. Every touchdown we were talking about it was just big bombs.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were – yeah. He should have threw like 3 interceptions. He threw 1. He missed. He could have had 3 more touchdowns. Wide open guys, he missed them. Anthony Richardson sucks. Anthony Richardson has an incredible arm, though. Anthony Richardson's what Jamarcus Russell was so close to being.
He's still young, man. He's barely played.
I'm just saying.
He's going to make the Pro Bowl this year.
But the accuracy is a problem. It was a problem at Florida. It's going to be a problem here. He ain't that good. But that throw, backpedaling, and then his plant foot slips. I was literally watching it because I'm playing against him in fantasy. And I was like, okay, good. I don't want him to – and he throws it the furthest fucking throw I've ever seen. And that's all he can do is just throw it as far as he can, and the receiver's going to run underneath it.
Yeah, he's under pressure too.
No, dude. I texted you, and I said that was the most impressive throw I've ever seen. And I didn't even know I was playing him in fantasy at that point, actually, because I responded right after. And I said, fuck. That's a 70-yard bomb. It was extremely impressive. One of the best throws I've ever seen in my entire life. So we had a profitable day all across the board in the NFL. YouTube commenter can absolutely suck my dick because he's like, these guys, all they do is lose. I went 3-2, you went 2-1, he went 2-1. And we all 3 hit our locks.
Yep.
So I don't know about 95% of the locks losing, but you're a 99% of a dumbass.
There was 1 year I hit nearly 95% of my locks.
Goddamn, Justin went 61-30 at one point in the NFL. I found the graphic popped up on like my memories. It was like 61-32 at one point. I don't know what the finish was, but it wasn't fucking much worse than that. So, all right. So we look ahead to week 2 of the NFL. I loved having the NFL back. It felt great. And I don't know. Maybe this is just that year. I don't have a good year in college. We've said we've been better NFL bettors as of late. Thursday, Dolphins and Bills. Miami's at home, 2.5 in that range. Total sits at around 48.5, give or take. Do you want to lead the way? You want me to lead the way? You feel good about it? You said you felt good about it last week. It hit. It was a little dicey, but it shouldn't have been. You were on the.
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, want me to go?
Go ahead.
All right, I'm taking the Dolphins -2.
Me too. Thank God.
Good.
Thank God.
Because I know you're a big Bills guy.
Relax. I think the Bills were getting slept on a little bit. I think Josh Allen's the best fantasy quarterback that's ever played. But I'm on the Dolphins here.
It's I'm 1.5 now too.
Is it?
They do have 1.5 available.
Because I'm on it too.
Okay. A little consensus action.
The big thing about the Bills, and it was my concern coming into the year, and it was reiterated in week 1, is the defense. They gave up 5 yards per carry against Arizona, and they were allowing 7 of 13 on third down conversions. So I don't know. I just think, it's going to be a good year for Allen because I think they're going to have to score a lot to stay in games.
Goddamn right.
But yeah, I think overall for the Bills team, it's kind of uphill for them because of their defense. So
yeah, no, well, I'm right there with you. You've got Matt Milano's out for the year again, right? Yeah, he's one of their best linebackers, if not the best.
And then you're talking about all the veteran leadership they had in the secondary. I mean,
so
DeMar Hamlin's a starter now.
That's literally what I have written down. Is they have a tremendous problem at safety, and that's not what you want to do when you have Tyreek Hill, who is the fastest guy on the field, second fastest guy off the field. So Henry Ruggs takes the cake for fastest guy off the field. But you've got Tyreek Hill, you've got Waddle, you got A-Chain, you got there's
A-Chain and Mostert are dealing with injuries, but I don't think they're serious.
They're not both going to be out. One of them's going to go.
But dude, Jeff Wilson looked good at the end of the game. Who'd the Dolphins play again?
Jacksonville.
Yeah, he rushed it down there and got him into field goal range there at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And They also have the running back from Tennessee. What was his first name? His last name was Wright.
Is it Jalen Wright?
It might be, but he wasn't active last week. I mean, if you expect one of these guys not to go, then he steps in there, and he's also a speedster. So,
yeah, there's just no way under a field goal that I can take Buffalo with what they have at safety.
Yeah.
So Tyreek Hill is still Tyreek Hill. The guy got slammed on the hot pavement down in Miami in a goddamn tank top and was able to rally and rip off an 80-yard touchdown. That was one of the difference makers in them winning that game. It takes one double move, and that's a wrap. So there's just too many weapons for Miami. Josh Allen also, too, the left hand is hurt, not his throwing hand, I understand, but he's not 100%. And then the injuries on the defensive side. So I'm laying the points with Miami. It sounds like we're all in agreement. You're on it as well, you said, yep. Justin? Okay. All righty. I don't have very many plays this week. I have one definite and then my lock. And then I was looking at a couple more. I'm always down to hop on another one. But what's your first play for Sunday?
I'm going Bengals Chiefs.
This is one I have.
We're looking at the total. I'm going under 48.
Fuck.
What are you doing? Going over?
No, I wanted to lay it with the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, that's which way I would lean on the side, and that's part of the reason why I'm going under here. I mentioned last week we talked about the Ravens and the Chiefs. Obviously,
I'm laying it with the
Chiefs. We
saw
it. We predicted it right. The Chiefs' offense is vastly improved, but what we saw from the Bengals offensively last week was disgusting, and you can make an argument that maybe this Chiefs defense is even better than the Patriots defense. So,
oh yeah, I would agree.
I think the only way for the Bengals to even keep this one close is with their defense, and you're kind of hoping there. I don't know what's the status on Marquise Brown. He might be out again.
Questionable. Don't really care, though, to be honest, because
they might just take it easy with him and get him back when he's fully 100%. So
yeah, the Bengals secondary, I understand they played the Patriots, but they didn't look great, in my opinion. They did not look great. So yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs -6. I was on the fence. I nearly did it. I was hoping one of y'all would be on it. The Chiefs' defense is fucking good. You're going to need a heroic performance from Burrow, who, I question the health of his wrist. I really do. Love Joe Burrow. Love Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase still isn't signed. He's not happy. He's only going to get more unhappy. T. Higgins is trying to come back from
He's trying to come back this week?
I believe so, but I don't know that he definitely will. I think he probably will if I had to bet on it, which I am. But I think this might be a down year for the Bengals. This really might be a down year for the Bengals. So, and the Chiefs look good. I'm going to lay the 6. Are you on this, Justin?
I'm not.
Okay. My next one before my lock, Broncos and Steelers. We're going under 36.5. It's a low number. This is like Iowa. This is like an Iowa total. And we're going to go under because Bo Nix, I told you motherfuckers, Bo Nix sucks. Bo Nix sucks. He looked good in the preseason, but this ain't the preseason anymore. The Steelers on offense suck, but they're fucking fantastic on the defensive side of the ball. TJ Watt's the best defensive player I might have ever seen in my entire life. I'm going under 36.5. Touchdowns are going to be hard to come by in this one. Bo Nix stinks. Are you on this?
What a bust.
Yeah, you can.
I remember they were freaking talking about Bo Nix for the Heisman. They were like, if Jaden Daniels was on Oregon or Washington, he'd be the backup.
Yeah.
I said, fuck. I said Bo Nix would be third string on LSU. Just wait till Nussmeier gets in the league.
Yeah, no, he looked really, really bad. Really,
no, he did.
Really bad. And I literally wrote
pick
down.
He threw in the red zone. That's
so bad. No, he stinks, dude. We told you he fucking stinks. I literally wrote down the number is so low, yet it's still too high. The only way this game's going to go over is if Nix throws touchdowns for the other team. So that's the only way. Don't throw a pick 6, you sack of shit. Under 36.5, Steelers and Broncos. Justin, what is your next one?
That was it.
Okay, so just your lock.
Yep.
Alrighty.
So you just have 2?
No, that was it. My Steelers and Broncos under.
Oh, you're on it as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so we go to our best bets of the week in the NFL. Our locks of the week, there is no such thing as a lock, but if there was...
It's a lock, Kramer. You've had this thing under control for almost 3 years now. But it's a lock.
They need that fucking juice. They need that next bet. They need, come on. Yes! When they win, they go fucking crazy.
My lock of the week in the NFL is going to be the Ravens minus 9.5.
Okay. Makes sense now.
You think the Raiders played well? I disagree. I think the Ravens coming off of a loss, I think the Ravens are going to absolutely dominate the Raiders here. Offensively, I think the Minshew experiment is over. I understand he beat out Aiden O'Connell, who's not good either. They weren't getting the ball to Devontae Adams, who's aging. Zamir White wasn't running it very well, in my opinion. You watched this game closer than I did, I'm sure, but you know what you're getting with the Ravens. The Raiders got to go all the way to the East Coast. They got to play a team that just lost on a game that came right down to it. The ability to run the ball from the Ravens is going to be too much. I just think that they're head and shoulders better than the Raiders here. I think the Raiders are arguably the worst team in the league. The Giants are the worst team in the league, but I think the Raiders are right there. But again, we're looking at it a little differently. I think that the Chargers just don't have weapons. And I think if they had even still like Austin Eckler, then they win that game by another touchdown.
Well, the problem they were creating for Herbert was the pass rush.
Yeah.
With
but he's also
I can't forget the guys. I can't
Max
remember.
Crosby.
And who else do they have over there?
Well, Chandler Jones ain't there.
No. They got rid of him for something he didn't even do.
With his brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost his mind.
It was a free agent acquisition that they got. He's a decent player too. But yeah, the pass rush was a problem. But yeah, the Raiders are one of those teams that are starting the season with back-to-back road games. I saw it. They were playing the Ravens. I was like, yeah, I'm not even going to mess with it. Wait for them to get back home.
I do worry because I know how good Max Crosby is. So I do have worry about the Ravens' offensive line. It didn't look great. But I just think the Ravens are one of the best teams in the league. They're top 3, in my opinion. The defense is very good. The Minshew, all of that, like him being the starter, it's just not going to work. I don't think the Raiders are good. So I literally wore the sweater and everything. So, and then you just shit right on my fucking lock.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, I thought he was done with the Ravens.
I got the Lamar jersey. I should have wore the Lamar jersey underneath.
And then you're like, the Raiders suck. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I didn't get it until the lock.
All right, Justin, what is your lock of the week?
I'm going to go to Seahawks and Patriots. I'm going to take the Seahawks -3. I wasn't too impressed with the Patriots. I really think that the Bengals kind of beat themselves more than the Patriots beat them. But I just think the Seahawks have more weapons on offense. And, I mean, the Patriots defense is good, but I'm not buying into the Patriots offense at all. So I'm going to take the Seahawks -3.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't think the Bengals defense really looked good, and the Patriots still only scored 16 points. So,
yeah, it's because the quarterback's not really that good.
Yeah, none of them are on that roster.
Yeah.
What? I'm trying to see. Was there anything else that you were looking at?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I got to give out my lock.
Oh, did you not?
No.
Oh, I just buy.
That's all right. I'm going Saints at Cowboys.
No shot.
We're going to go under 45.5.
Okay.
I thought that what happened last week in the Cowboys and Browns was pretty close to what I expected. Dak struggled a little bit, although he didn't lose the Cowboys the game. Statistically, though, it like he lit it up. I think the concerns I have with the Cowboys' offensive line they haven't gone away from me. So I think going against the Saints did an extremely good job of pressuring Bryce Young last week. And that's kind of how that game got out of hand so fast. And then on the other side, the Saints are now playing the Cowboys defense, and they also have a tremendous pass rusher and Micah Parsons. I think just looking at these teams right now, both of these teams' strengths are their defense, and I think there still is some questions for concern on offense. So we're going to go under 45.5 in this one.
I'm going to jump on it with you because I was looking at this one as well. That's exactly the side I would lean. Yeah, I'm going to take it as well because which side does Micah Parsons like to line up on?
Yeah, whichever side Penning's blocking.
Yeah, and that's his natural side. So I thought the Saints looked fantastic. I thought they checked every box that they needed to against one of the 3 worst teams in the league. Now you got a big step up in class. I think the defense is fantastic. So, yeah, I'm right there with you. I think worries me that Marshawn Lattimore's hamstring. He's questionable to go. I think he will go. But I think Paulson Adebo's done enough to earn everybody's respect and his ability. He's not as good as Lattimore, but I think he's serviceable enough. I thought the safety play.
Alontae Taylor?
No, Alontae Taylor played great, but I'm blanking on his Harris, number 5.
Yeah.
He outsnapped everybody. He played the most snaps of anyone. I think he got a pick. He was not really expected to be the starter. A lot of people were kind of thrown off that he was the starter. I thought he played very well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that was the main question. That was our main concern when we broke down the preseason.
Yeah.
Because we were in the running to get Justin Simmons, and it fell through. But, hey, guy looked good last week.
Yeah, and you're going to get thrown into the fire this week because not only do they have CeeDee Lamb, but they have Brandon Cooks as well who look good. What did they do running the football?
I don't think they had much success.
Yeah, Zeke had 10 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown. He's leading them.
And Dowdle, how'd he do?
Let's see. Was that Rico Dowdle?
I don't think he had more than Zeke.
No, he didn't. Yeah, no, Zeke's leading. But 8 carries, 26 yards. Browns are good defense.
Yeah, it was
bad offense.
I thought that game was a little bit strange because when you look at the offensive numbers for Dallas,
not great.
It doesn't add up to the amount of points they scored. How many they end up with at the end of the game?
33.
Yeah, it didn't.
They only scored 3 points in the fourth quarter.
How many total yards did they have?
Only 265.
Yeah, that doesn't add up to 33 points in the NFL.
It is interesting. Yeah, it really doesn't because 4 of 14 on third down, 265 yards. The Browns outsnapped them. They won the time of possession. It was a sloppy game in terms of penalties, 11 on each side. They ran the ball at 4 yards a carry. Browns ran it at 5 yards a carry. Yeah, I mean, the problem was the Browns had 2.7 yards per pass, and Watson threw 2 picks. So, yeah, I agree. When you look at it, so you see 33, you see a big number on the scoreboard, but offensively they weren't sharp.
No.
So,
I thought Dak did a good job. I mean, it was definitely with the changes at offensive line, it was probably one of the toughest tests he could face week 1. But week 2, you got another tough test. So,
yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's going to result in as many points this time.
Watson threw the pick on their own 26.
Yeah.
So you got a short field there. And they held him to the field goal. They held him, 4 plays, 1 yard, kicked the field goal. Then you had, let's see, then the other one was, okay, it was on the, whatever. It was down on the other end of the field. But regardless, yeah, the offense didn't look sharp. So I agree with you. I'm going to take under 45.5 as well in the Saints and Cowboys. So to recap, again, the picks will be timestamped. Anybody who's rode with us for this entire 2-hour episode, we appreciate you. Thursday, we're going Dolphins -2. Broncos, Steelers under 36.5. The Chiefs -6. Saints, Cowboys under 45.5. And my lock of the week, the Ravens -9.5 are going to beat the shit out of the Raiders.
I'm going Dolphins -2. We're going Bengals, Chiefs under 48. And for the lock of the week, we're taking the Saints at the Cowboys under 45.5.
All right, Justin.
Thursday night, got the Dolphins -1.5. And on Sunday, Steelers, Broncos under 36.5. And my lock of the week is going to be Seahawks -3.
There you go. That is our best bets of the week for the NFL. College football, NFL, both will be timestamped in the description. Episode 195 is in the books. Do you have anything to say before we go?
Good luck.
Justin?
Nope, good luck.
All right. We are 5 episodes away from 200 episodes on this podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Like I said, we're 8 subs away from 700. We're trending onward and upward. We had a good week in the NFL. We're going to have another good week as well. I told you I'm trimming the fat in college football. Only thing left to do is start making some money here.
Yeah, it definitely feels like we're gaining some momentum, doesn't it, Justin?
It feels good. I feel good. We got a hurricane right out there, so everybody stay safe. We're going to lose power. I feel good right now. At this exact time tomorrow, I'm not going to feel good when I'm sitting in the dark and in the heat. So, but there's money to be made, so we might as well make it. Y'all have a good one. Who dat?
house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes, the house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house.
I've been practicing this good.
A little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
No, it was good. I liked it.